My child, I need you to stop scrolling. This is not just another message. This is a divine interruption. Right now, your soul is under siege, and you don't even see it. The enemy has not been sleeping. He's been slowly suffocating your spirit. Not with noise, but with numbness. If you don't wake up now, you risk losing the fire I placed within you. You're not watching this by accident. This is your alarm from heaven. I am speaking to you, not to scare you, but to awaken you. My beloved, ask yourself, how many times have you walked through long, empty days? How many times have you smiled for others while breaking into pieces inside? That is a sign the enemy has been silently stealing the life of your spirit. He doesn't come with a roar, but with invisible weariness, with fear dripping day by day, and with a quiet numbness that corrodes the soul. If you don't awaken, your soul will wither even while your body still breathes. I didn't create you to wander like a shadow in the night. I created you to walk in the light, to know who you are, and to carry that life to illuminate the world. I know there have been times you wanted to give up, moments when you secretly thought, maybe I should just let go. Maybe I don't need to try anymore. But my child, that is not my voice. That is a lie from the enemy who wants you to believe you are powerless and every effort is meaningless. I declare that you have never been powerless, for I am your strength within. As Psalm 27:1 says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" You are not fighting alone, for I am your inexhaustible source, the one who upholds you when your steps tremble. You must understand that fighting doesn't mean struggling in despair by your own strength. It means choosing to stand on my side, holding on to my word and walking by faith. The enemy wants you to think weakness is defeat, but I say that it is in your weakness my power is revealed. You may fall, but do not remain on the ground. You may cry, but do not let your tears become chains. Every time you rise again is proof that I am still alive in you, that true life is still flowing in the veins of your soul. I ask you, do you want to live or merely exist? Existence is only the prolonging of days, but true life is when your heart burns with the purpose I have set for you. You were not created to drag yourself wearily through each day, but to walk as an anointed warrior, carrying light into the darkness. I have placed the seed of eternal life within you, and the enemy cannot destroy it unless you let it go. Therefore, rise up, put on the armor of faith, take up the sword of my word, and fight for your very life. This battle may weary you, but it is also where you will come to know where true strength comes from. As you fight, you will realize that what you thought were limits are in fact the beginning of miracles. When you stand firm, you will see that darkness cannot overshadow the light. And when you hold on to me, you will understand that true life never departs from you as long as you choose to believe, cling to me, and fight to the very end. My child, don't let the life within your soul be stolen. Don't let your faith be strangled by fear. Remember this, every breath you still take is proof that I have not abandoned you and that I am waiting for you to rise so that together we may step into a new chapter. This is not merely a call, it is a command of love. Fight, for your life is of immeasurable worth, the fierce battle for your soul. My beloved child, you now stand on a fragile boundary where a single misstep could send you sliding deep into the shadows. I declare to you that you are facing a battle fiercer than any you have ever known. This is not a petty dispute or a challenge for amusement. It is a fight for survival. Your enemy has never taken this lightly or been lazy in his hunt. He has been watching you silently, observing your every step, memorizing your habits and weaknesses. He is more cunning, more patient, and more malicious than you can imagine. Look closely, child. He doesn't strike with a sword or spear, but slips through the smallest cracks in your life. When you grow careless, he sows seeds of doubt. When you are weary, he whispers in your ear, "Give up. There is nothing worth fighting for anymore." When you are wounded, he twists the truth, making you believe that no one loves you, that even I have abandoned you. But I tell you, that is a lie. I am still here, still beside you, still watching you every moment, and my heart has never ceased to beat for you. Do you know why he persists so fiercely? Because he knows your value. He fears the calling I have placed on your life. He knows that if you stand firm, you will become a light to many others, an instrument through which I will accomplish great works. That is why he seeks not only to steal your precious time, but to drain your joy, blur your identity, rob your clarity, weaken your strength, and strangle the sacred calling I entrusted to you since the foundation of the world. This is not a game, my child. This is war. A war unseen but fierce, where there is no place for indifference or half-heartedness. Whether you feel ready or not, you are already in it. In truth, you have no choice to stand aside. You are in the midst of the battlefield, and silence or surrender is a choice in itself. A choice to let the enemy act unchecked. But I speak to you. Do not let him determine your destiny. Do not let his deception become the truth of your life. My child, open your eyes and see the truth. He is not aiming for wealth or external things. He is striking straight at your soul. He wants you to lose the longing to seek me, to lose your faith and to become a walking corpse, alive yet without true life. He wants you to forget the calling, to forget that you are the child of the King above all kings, to forget that you were destined for victory and not defeat. That is why he is persistent, patient, and waits for every moment of your carelessness to rush in. But my child, do not be afraid. I do not speak these words to terrify you, but to awaken you. For even though the war is fierce, you are not fighting alone. I have given you weapons stronger than any scheme of the enemy. My word, faith, prayer, the breastplate of righteousness, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. As Ephesians 6:11 says, put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. You may think yourself weak, but remember, my strength is made perfect in your weakness. You may tremble, but know that my hand has never left you. You may feel lost, but my light is always guiding your way. Therefore, rise up. Do not let the enemy define who you are. Don't let the darkness steal the radiant essence I placed within you. You are a child of light, a warrior of my kingdom, an unquenchable flame. I know this battle is not easy. You will face weary days and long, restless nights. But believe this, each time you choose to keep going, you strike fear into the enemy's heart. Each time you kneel to pray, heaven moves. Each time you open your mouth in praise, unseen chains are shattered, and each time you cling to faith, the darkness is pushed back. My beloved, remember that you are not fighting only for yourself, but for the generations to come. If you stand firm, many will find hope through your life. If you fall, many may lose the light that guides their way. You are more important than you realize, and your mission is greater than you know. Therefore, do not let the enemy deceive you into believing that your life is meaningless. On the contrary, it is full of meaning, worth, and divine power. My child, I am calling you to be alert, to be prepared, and to rise as a true warrior. For this is war, and I have already ordained the victory to be yours as long as you do not let go. Rise and fight. My beloved one, you now stand at an edge where every step you take can shape the course of your destiny. I tell you this, what you are going through is not an illusion or a random game. The pain you feel is not just a vague emotion. The heaviness you carry on your shoulders doesn't come from nowhere. and the turmoil in your mind is not your natural state. Behind all these things lies an unseen but violent battle, spiritual chains that the enemy deliberately lays upon you to wear down your will, to drain your strength, and to silence you when you were born to release a resounding voice. You must understand that silence is not my intention for you. I did not create you to be bound by invisible chains, to drag yourself through each day with a weary soul. No, I have called you to walk in strength, to rise and take dominion over the world around you, to bring the voice of heaven into this chaotic earth. You were not born to exist quietly, but to live a radiant life resounding like the trumpet of victory, a life that affirms the identity I placed within you before the dawn of creation. Therefore I say it once more, my child, fight. Do not let the meekness of your soul be an excuse to be bound by passivity. True meekness comes from my spirit. It is humility, gentleness, and power under control. But passivity is a subtle snare of darkness, deceiving you into believing that silence is wisdom and that patience means doing nothing. My beloved, that is a lie. I have not called you to sit and wait idly, but to rise and fight for life, for your calling, for your identity, and for the mission I have entrusted to you. Do you remember that in the scriptures I spoke to Joshua saying, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Joshua 1:9. That promise was not only for him, but for you today. You are not standing up in your own strength. You rise in mine. You are not struggling to fight alone. I am right beside you. Every time you open your mouth in prayer, the hosts of heaven move. Every time you choose to praise, the invisible chains fall away, and every time you walk in faith, darkness trembles. Look back on your life and see. Each time you chose to trust in me, you overcame valleys that seemed to have no way out. Each time you prayed in the midnight hour, my light broke forth within you. Each time you refused to give up, I lifted you up and carried you forward. These are proofs that you have never been alone. They are a testimony that my presence has never left you, not even in the moments when you felt weakest and most powerless. My child, remember this. I did not call you merely to drag your feet through life, living a dim and nameless existence. I called you to be a messenger, a warrior for truth, one who lives with power from above. I have placed a fire within you that cannot be extinguished, and that fire must be lit, seen, and shared. The enemy seeks to smother it with pain, heaviness, and confusion. But I declare to you, rise up. Let that fire blaze brighter than ever before, so that the world will see you belong to me, and that no power can quench this light. To fight doesn't mean you must always strain or win by your own strength. To fight means you dare to stand. You dare to choose my side. You dare to hold firm in faith amidst temptations. To fight means you do not stay silent when the truth must be spoken. You do not remain still when it's time to move, and you do not close your heart when I call. This is fighting with faithfulness, with courage, and with absolute trust in me. And I promise you this, if you choose to fight, you will never be defeated. You may fall, but I will lift you up. You may weep, but your tears will become seeds sown into a field of blessing. You may tremble in fear, but that very fear will turn into a powerful testimony that I alone am the one who gives peace beyond all understanding. You are not fighting for a fleeting earthly reward, but for an eternal glory that will never fade. My beloved, I know you are weary. I know the burdens make your shoulders shake. But remember that I am your refuge, the strength that keeps you standing, the source of life that never runs dry. So do not mistake meekness for passivity. Do not think humility is silence or gentleness is surrender. No, my child, True gentleness is strength under control, and true humility is power placed under my guidance. You were not called to retreat, but to advance. Remember, my child, now is the time to rise, to put on the armor of the Spirit, to cry out with a voice of victory. This is the hour to declare that you do not belong to darkness, that your soul is not bound by exhaustion, and that your identity is not stolen by lies. You are mine, and you are called to live, to fight, and to overcome. Fight for your destiny. My beloved child, you now stand on the threshold of a decision, and I need you to listen deeply within your heart. My spirit has never lain dormant in you. It is not some forgotten memory buried beneath the relentless events of life. On the contrary, that spirit is ablaze, surging, waiting for your consent, waiting for you to utter a strong and resounding yes, so that my life may pour forth like a mighty flood, breaking every invisible chain. This spirit is not silent, but longs to burst forth, reminding you that you were not created to sink into passivity, but to live a life marked by the seal of heaven, to stand among the ranks of the anointed warriors. My child, I am calling you to fight. Not merely for outward things, but first and foremost for yourself. Fight for your mind. The place where deceitful thoughts try to weave their net around you. Do not allow doubt, fear, and sorrow to gnaw at the hidden corners of your soul. I have given you a mind renewed in truth, and the enemy has no right to cast darkness upon it unless you allow it. Let my word become the shield that guards your thoughts, so that every idea is tested in the light, enabling you to discern my voice from the lies that rise from the pit. You must also fight for your voice. Do not let the enemy persuade you that you have nothing to say, that your words carry no weight. No. My child, I have placed words of power within your mouth. Your voice is not a fleeting sound, but an instrument to shatter chains, to proclaim truth, to lift the brokenhearted. Remember this: every prayer you utter has the strength to move heaven. Every declaration you make can cause darkness to tremble. Therefore, do not remain silent any longer. Let your voice rise, not by human wisdom, but by the Spirit who is igniting within you. Fight also for your purity, for it is the precious jewel the enemy relentlessly seeks to stain. He casts snares of temptation, alluring shortcuts sweet to the taste, yet laced with poison, hoping to rob your soul of the purity that reflects my glory. But my child, I have not called you to compromise. I call you to guard your heart from defilement, to stand firm amid a world thick with corruption. When you choose holiness, you become a mirror reflecting my radiance, so that all who look upon you may see that I am alive within you. And my child, do not forget to fight for your destiny. I have written the story of your life with lines of love and divine intention, but the enemy seeks to erase it, to blur its pages with the ink of disappointment, doubt, and delay. You may have thought it was already too late, that time has slipped away, that the dream I placed within you has passed. But I declare to you, it is not too late. This is the moment, this very hour, even within the weakness you carry, is the time when I will accomplish something great. As I once promised in Joel 2:25, I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten. Time does not ruin your destiny, for I am the Lord over time itself. When you say, yes, I can reclaim the lost years and turn them into an abundant harvest, unlike anything you've ever known. My child, see the true value of who you are. You are not just a small being swept along by the current of life. You are one who carries within you the breath of the Almighty. You are a wondrous work that I have placed in the right place at the right time to reveal my plan. The enemy knows this well. That is why he strives to hinder you, to weary you, to make you want to give up. But I declare this truth: he does not have the final word. It is you with your yes who will open the door for me to act. And once you agree, nothing can stand in the way of what I will do through you. Oh, my child, believe that even when you feel small and useless, the fire within you is still burning. Do not measure yourself by failures or limitations you have experienced. Instead, fix your eyes on me, the one who has called, chosen, and appointed you. I did not choose you because you were perfect, but because I can bring forth perfection through your very weakness. My Spirit does not demand that you be strong before He moves. He simply waits for your yes to begin. Remember, this battle is not only for you to preserve yourself, but also to rescue others. When you rise, many will be illuminated by the light you carry. When you choose purity, generations after you will walk in blessing. When you lift your voice, those who are lost will find the way home. And when you embrace your destiny, not only will you be transformed, but also your community, your lineage, and the world around you will be changed. Therefore, my beloved child, do not let lies bind you for another day. Open your mouth and say yes to me. Let my Spirit ignite within you. Let the fire break every chain. Let new life flow from you like a river that never runs dry. Fight and believe that in every battle I am there, upholding, strengthening, and walking with you until the day you step into the fullness of glory I have prepared. The restorer of all things. My beloved child, as you tremble on the edge, I declare to you an eternal truth. I am the one who redeems the days you thought buried in regret. I am the one who restores the path you believed was cut off, the one who opens a way where you saw only a dead end. Do not think that your detours discourage me, or that your broken places cause me to abandon you. I am not surprised by your failures, nor shaken by what you have lost. What I have spoken over your life remains intact, unchanging, as I myself am unchanging. But for it to be fulfilled, you must rise. Choose to believe and walk forward. You are not as broken as you think. I do not see you through the lens of your wounds or failures. I see you through the eyes of unwavering love. You are not too far gone for me to reach. No matter how far you have run, my arms are still long enough to gather you in and bring you home. You are not discarded, for I have never thrown away the precious jewel shaped by my own hands. Every lie you once believed, that you are not good enough, that you missed your chance, that you are a burden, these are nothing more than invisible chains the enemy bound around your mind. But today I expose them not to shame you, but to set you free, so that you may know the only truth worth holding on to. You belong to me, and you are destined for victory. My child, I have seen every tear you have shed, every sleepless night, weighed down by anxiety, every moment you collapsed, thinking you had strayed too far to return. But I tell you this, not one step you take escapes my sight. Even when you walk through darkness, I am there. Even when you fall, I remain by your side. As it is written in Psalm 139, if I ascend to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there also. There is nowhere you can go to flee from my love. And today, that love not only calls you back, but clothes you with a new garment. The garment of restoration, of hope, of your true identity. You think your past has ruined your future. But I declare to you, I am the one who makes all things new. The years that seemed wasted will become the very foundation upon which I build something stronger. The wounds you thought were meaningless will become testimonies of my healing. The winding roads you have traveled will bear witness to the grace that covered your life. Nothing that has passed is ever lost when placed in my hands. Even the ruins can be transformed into bricks to raise a new house. My beloved child, do not fear the light that exposes the lies you once believed. Exposure does not come to shame you, but to break off the chains that bound you. Do you not know shame only has power when it is kept hidden? But when you bring it into my light, shame loses its grip and you are set free. The truth will liberate you, as John 8:32 declares. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That is why today I want you to know you no longer need to hide. You can lift your head high, not because you are flawless, but because I have called you, redeemed you, and restored you. Rise up, my child. Do not let the past define you. Do not let failure determine your worth. Do not let lies obscure your true identity. You are mine, and you have never been excluded from the plans I have set in place. You were created with a calling, with a purpose, with a destiny far greater than what your eyes can see. And I promise you this, if you rise, if you believe, if you take hold of my hand, you will see restoration, not only within yourself, but flowing into your family and to those you love and into generations to come. You thought you were late, but I tell you that you are right on time. This very moment, when you feel weak and believe there is nothing left, is the perfect moment for me to reveal my strength. For I do not need you to be perfect before I can act. I only need you to be willing. You need only say, yes, and I will take that yes and make it the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter filled with miracles and glory. My beloved, listen closely. I am the one who redeems time. I reclaim the wasted years and turn them into a season of abundant harvest. I am the restorer of paths. Where you see only a heap of rubble, I will raise up a palace. Where you see only barren fields, I will cause them to bloom. And where you see only thick darkness, I will ignite a flame that will never be extinguished. So my child, rise up. Do not let lies bind you for another moment. You are not abandoned. You are not too far gone. You are not broken beyond repair. You are a warrior chosen by me, a bearer of a heavenly mission. And today I call you, step out of the shadows, receive restoration, and allow me to write the next lines of your life story with the ink of grace. For I have spoken, and my word stands forever. An unquenchable fire. My beloved, you now stand at the edge of one of the most important choices of your life. I speak to you in truth. This is the resounding wake-up call, ringing loudly to rouse your soul from its long slumber. For too long you have allowed indifference to lull your mind, permitting small but poisonous habits to seep into your soul, dulling the spiritual sensitivity I placed within you. I see how often you have sought comfort in things that bring only fleeting satisfaction, but leave your spirit withered. I see how you have lulled yourself with passing pleasures, with distractions that seem harmless, but in truth drain your strength, stealing your voice and your true identity. Child, the urgency of this hour has never been greater. This is not a game. This is a real battle, and your very soul stands on the front line. I am calling you back to yourself, to the very being I crafted from the beginning. Not the self shackled by wounds, not the self resigned to disappointment and compromise as if they were unavoidable, but the self full of life, radiant and strong just as I designed you to be. I placed light within you, but over the years, layers of pain, failure, and compromise have dimmed that light. You thought you had lost yourself, but the truth is your truest self has never left you. It has only been waiting for you to brush away the dust, break the chains, and shine once more. Yes, what I am calling you to do is not easy. You will feel as though you are being stretched to the point where you think you can no longer endure. You will sense that every fiber of your soul is being tested, every boundary pushed to its limit. But I tell you this, it is precisely within this struggle that true transformation takes place. A seed can only sprout when it breaks open in the darkness. A new house can only be built when the old foundation has been torn down. In the same way, you must accept the breaking of what is false, so that the true self I created may be revealed. Do not fear hardship, for I will be with you. When you find yourself unable to take another step, I will be the strength that upholds you. When you tremble before trials, I will be your fortress of protection. When you weep in the long night, I will be the arms that comfort you. I, the one who formed you from dust and ashes, will walk with you on every mile of the journey. As I have promised in Isaiah 41 on verse 10, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. My child, I need you to understand that this awakening is not meant for a fleeting moment, but for an entire journey. You will have to let go of what is familiar, habits that once gave the illusion of safety, but in truth have hardened your heart. You will have to face the fears you have long avoided. You will need to release the burdens that weigh your soul down, so that your hands may be free to receive the new things I am giving you. You may lose some things, even some relationships, but you will rediscover yourself. The very self I created, the self that shines brightly in my presence. Beloved one, look ahead. Do not fix your eyes only on the darkness around you and tremble. See that I am stretching out my hand toward you. I am calling you back to the place where you belong, back to freedom, to purity, to strength, and to the eternal life I have promised. You are not destined to live trapped in exhaustion and compromise. You are destined to live in the light, to become one who reflects my glory. Yes, this will be hard, but that very difficulty is the cradle in which a new self will be born within you. Yes, it will stretch you, but that stretching is only to enlarge the capacity of your soul so that you may receive more from me. And at every step, I will not leave you. You do not walk alone. I am with you, before you, behind you, to your left and to your right. The darkness may press in, but my light within you will shine, and the darkness will not overcome it. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. My beloved, awaken. Do not let this bell ring and then fade into silence. Take hold of this moment as though it were your last chance, for your soul is worth more than anything you could ever trade away. Do not let trivial matters drain your spirit. Do not let compromise strip you of your true identity. Do not let old wounds prevent you from stepping into a new chapter. I am calling you. Return. Rise up and let your true self, the one I created, come alive. Burn with passion and walk in the glory I have destined for you. My beloved, you now stand on the threshold of a decision, and I need you to listen deeply within your heart. My spirit has never lain dormant in you. It is not some forgotten memory buried beneath the relentless events of life. On the contrary, that spirit is ablaze, surging, waiting for your consent. Waiting for you to utter a strong and resounding yes, so that my life may pour forth like a mighty flood, breaking every invisible chain. This spirit is not silent, but longs to burst forth, reminding you that you were not created to sink into passivity, but to live a life marked by the seal of heaven, to stand among the ranks of the anointed warriors. My child, I am calling you to fight. Not merely for outward things, but first and foremost for yourself. Fight for your mind, the place where deceitful thoughts try to weave their net around you. Do not allow doubt, fear, and sorrow to gnaw at the hidden corners of your soul. I have given you a mind renewed in truth, and the enemy has no right to cast darkness upon it unless you allow it. Let my word become the shield that guards your thoughts, so that every idea is tested in the light, enabling you to discern my voice from the lies that rise from the pit. You must also fight for your voice. Do not let the enemy persuade you that you have nothing to say, that your words carry no weight. No, my child, I have placed words of power within your mouth. Your voice is not a fleeting sound, but an instrument to shatter chains, to proclaim truth, to lift the brokenhearted. Remember this: every prayer you utter has the strength to move heaven. Every declaration you make can cause darkness to tremble. Therefore, do not remain silent any longer. Let your voice rise not by human wisdom, but by the Spirit who is igniting within you. Fight also for your purity, for it is the precious jewel the enemy relentlessly seeks to stain. He casts snares of temptation, alluring shortcuts, sweet to the taste, yet laced with poison, hoping to rob your soul of the purity that reflects my glory. But my child, I have not called you to compromise. I call you to guard your heart from defilement, to stand firm amid a world thick with corruption. When you choose holiness, you become a mirror reflecting my radiance, so that all who look upon you may see that I am alive within you. And my child, do not forget to fight for your destiny. I have written the story of your life with lines of love and divine intention. But the enemy seeks to erase it, to blur its pages with the ink of disappointment, doubt, and delay. You may have thought it was already too late, that time has slipped away, that the dream I placed within you is past. But I declare to you, it is not too late. This is the moment, this very hour, even within the weakness you carry, is the time when I will accomplish something great. As I once promised in Joel 2:25, I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten. Time does not ruin your destiny, for I am the Lord over time itself. When you say, yes, I can reclaim the lost years and turn them into an abundant harvest unlike anything you have ever known. My child, see the true value of who you are. You are not just a small being swept along by the current of life. You are one who carries within you the breath of the Almighty. You are a wondrous work that I have placed in the right place at the right time to reveal my plan. The enemy knows this well. That is why he strives to hinder you, to weary you, to make you want to give up. But I declare this truth: he does not have the final word. It is you, with your yes, who will open the door for me to act. And once you agree, nothing can stand in the way of what I will do through you. Oh, my child, believe that even when you feel small and useless, the fire within you is still burning. Do not measure yourself by failures or limitations you have experienced. Instead, fix your eyes on me, the one who has called, chosen, and appointed you. I did not choose you because you were perfect, but because I can bring forth perfection through your very weakness. My Spirit does not demand that you be strong before He moves. He simply waits for your yes to begin. Remember, this battle is not only for you to preserve yourself, but also to rescue others. When you rise, many will be illuminated by the light you carry. When you choose purity, generations after you will walk in blessing. When you lift your voice, those who are lost will find the way home. And when you embrace your destiny, not only will you be transformed, but also your community, your lineage, and the world around you will be changed. Therefore, my beloved child, do not let lies bind you for another day. Open your mouth and say yes to me. Let my Spirit ignite within you. Let the fire break every chain. Let new life flow from you like a river that never runs dry. Fight and believe that in every battle I am there, upholding, strengthening, and walking with you until the day you step into the fullness of glory I have prepared. You need only remain faithful and keep your eyes fixed on me. Hold my word close to your heart and let your steps walk in righteousness. I will grant you wisdom at every crossroads, give you peace when the world is chaotic, and provide strength when you grow weary. My child, it is time to shed what is old. Do not wear a garment that no longer belongs to you. Do not hide the light I have placed within your heart. Stand up, stand firm, and move forward with the posture of a warrior. This moment is yours, and I, the Creator of heaven and earth, am with you every step of the way. My beloved, engrave this truth in your heart. I do not refine you to cause meaningless pain. The fire of trials is not for torment or punishment. My purpose is always to prepare and shape you into a vessel that is pure, sharp, and steadfast in my hand. Just as a refiner uses fire to purify gold and remove its impurities, I am doing this work within you. Trials don't come to destroy, but to shape. Losses don't come to break you, but to build you on a stronger foundation. When I call you into deeper waters, it is not to leave your mind tangled in unanswerable questions, but to anchor your soul in truth. My deep waters will not cause you to lose your way. They will make you more secure. You cannot find what your heart longs for if you remain on the shallow shore. The satisfaction you seek in shallow things will quickly fade, leaving your soul restless and unquenched. Stop running to dry wells expecting water, for they will only disappoint you. The only living water flows from me. Do not wait for people to confirm what I have already spoken to you. When I plant a promise, a vision, or a calling within you, that word already carries my full authority. You do not need another voice to validate it. The greatest confirmation has already come from heaven. Waiting for someone's approval will waste precious time and cause you to miss the step I am urging you to take. You don't need to pretend to be powerless or unequipped. I have already placed a weapon in your hand that no enemy can withstand, the mighty sword of my word. This sword is not a decoration to be hidden in a sheath of silence. You must use it. Speak forth my word, for when you open your mouth, heaven moves. Believe in my word, for when you believe, darkness is pushed back. Wield that sword with courage to cut down every lie that seeks to entangle your mind. When the enemy whispers that you are unworthy, respond with my word. I am God's masterpiece. When old memories drag you down, strike them with this truth. The old has gone. Behold, all things have become new. The sword of the Word of God has the power to cut through all confusion. It can divide spirit from soul and truth from illusion, granting you the clarity to see things rightly so you are not drowned by emotion or led astray by deception. When you hold this sword, you are no longer a victim of fate, but a fully equipped warrior. You stand firm on the battlefield, not by your own strength, but by the weapons I have placed in your hands. Remember how I myself used my word against the enemy. In the wilderness, when my son was tempted, he did not argue or resist with human strength. He declared, "It is written," and with those words, the enemy was defeated. That same authority is in your hand. Don't let this sword gather dust. Take it, commit it to memory, and use it to overcome the darkness surrounding your soul. I know there are times you feel too weak to wield this sword. But remember, the power doesn't come from your arm, it comes from the authority of the one who has spoken. Each time you proclaim my word, the armies of heaven stand with you. Each time you believe my word, the heavens tremble. And each time you walk in that word, your destiny is realigned to my path. My child, rise up. Let your mouth no longer be silent, but resound like a trumpet announcing victory. Let your mind no longer be clouded, but sharpened by the discernment of my spirit. Let your heart no longer tremble, but blaze with the courage of heaven. I have never called you to live bowed down, but to stand tall, firm, and advance as a victorious warrior. The purpose of your pain. My beloved child, the battle you are called to is a spiritual one where the true life and destiny of many souls are decided. I have not called you to provoke, harm, or destroy others, but to break the invisible chains that bind countless lives. I have chosen you to become an instrument to tear down the strongholds of deception that have ruled humanity for generations. I want you to rise up to rip apart the unseen walls that separate my children from the liberating truth, so they may see the light and walk into freedom. You are part of the great sacred movement that I am establishing. You are not an accident, nor were you born outside of my plan. Every breath of yours is woven into my meticulous design. When I called your name in your mother's womb, I placed you in the right moment, the right generation, and the right context so you could take part in the revelation of my glory. Remember this. Your birth was never a coincidence. You are not here to pass through life like a shadow, but to leave a spiritual imprint, sow seeds for the generations to come, and bear witness to my unchanging love. The gifts you carry within your heart are not mistakes. You may have doubted before, thinking your abilities, dreams, and talents were meaningless or too small. But I declare to you, nothing I have given you is in vain. Every ability is a piece of a greater picture. Every talent is a tool I will use to expand my kingdom. Every deep longing in your heart is a reminder that you were born for a purpose far greater than what your eyes can see. Never despise what I have planted in you, for they are the very signs that mark you as belonging to my plan. Even the quiet desires you once thought foolish are not meaningless. They were sown into your heart as part of your destiny. They are the echoes of heaven resounding in your soul, reminding you that you were born to reach for a higher calling. The world may mock and others may scorn, but remember that I planted them. And if I have planted, I will also give the power for them to bloom in their due season. My child, even your wounds, the things you long to forget, the memories that sting, the failures that shame you, if you place them in my hands, they will cease to be burdens and will become weapons in my use. I will turn those scars into living testimonies of grace. I will transform your pain into strength to lift up others. I will turn your stumbles into proof that my love never abandons you. What the enemy intended for destruction, I will transform into the very weapon with which you overcome. Imagine this: a sword only becomes sharp after being refined through repeated friction. A warrior only grows truly strong after enduring countless hours of training and many battles. In the same way, the wounds, the tears, and the days when you feel broken are all shaping you. I do not waste a single moment of your life. I use everything, both light and darkness, triumph and failure, to prepare you as a vessel of purpose. When you surrender all to me, you will see that the very things you once thought were your greatest weaknesses will become the most powerful testimony of my strength. You are not merely a follower. You are a warrior in the heavenly army. You are not merely a survivor. You are one who is sent. You are not simply a product of circumstances. You are evidence of an eternal plan. So do not despise yourself. Do not let anyone tell you that you are not enough, for I have spoken otherwise. Do not let lies suffocate your dreams, for I myself planted those dreams within you as a sign of your destiny. And do not fear your wounds, for I can transform them into glory. The path of a warrior. Stand firm, my child. Remember that the battle you are engaged in is not against flesh and blood, but against the powers of darkness and the unseen forces that seek to destroy the soul. You do not fight alone, for I am with you, and the host of heaven marches behind you. You do not enter the battlefield with empty hands, for I have equipped you. My word is your sword, faith is your shield, righteousness is your armor, salvation is your helmet, and peace is the footwear with which you walk. Beloved one, this is the moment you must recognize that your life is not meaningless. From your first breath to your final tear, everything is in my hands. You are part of a plan greater than yourself, a plan you will only glimpse fully when you surrender to me. Open your heart. Offer me both the things you love and the things you hate, your victories and your defeats, your dreams and your wounds. Then you will see my hand transform it all, and you will become a living weapon to extend my glory upon the earth. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. My beloved, let me burn away the lesser things that have clung to you for far too long. Let me consume the compromises you have harbored, the lies you have believed, and even the habits that seemed harmless but have slowly drained your soul. Do not cling to them any longer. You cannot walk with me while still nurturing these things. Light cannot dwell with darkness, and true love cannot coexist with false masks. I long to overthrow every idol that has taken my place in your heart, whether it be ambition, recognition, or any pursuit you once chased to fill the emptiness within. My child, I do not seek a dazzling performance. I am not concerned with the perfection you try to create to present to me. I am not impressed by prayers polished with careful words and ornate expressions. What I long for is your very heart, a heart that is real, without cover, without deceit, without adornment. Come to me as you truly are, with your brokenness, your mess, your confusion, your anger, and even your unanswered questions. I do not turn away from these things. On the contrary, they are the very material through which I work. You think I work only through strength, but the truth is that I work best through weakness. You think I accept only perfect holiness, but I choose to enter into brokenness itself and make it a dwelling place for my glory. You think confusion drives me away, but it is in that very confusion that I come to bring clarity. You think anger makes me reject you, but I am not afraid of the truth within your heart. I want you to bring it all to me, for only when you surrender everything can I transform it. I can work with your tears, for they become prayers deeper than any words. I can work with your weariness, for when you are exhausted, there is room for me to pour out my strength. I can work with the silence of your confusion, for that is when I breathe new life and plant eternal promises within you. Believe this, nothing within you is wasted when placed in my hands. Even what is ugly and shattered, I can use to reveal my glory. Remember the 3 young men in the fiery furnace. The flames did not destroy them. Rather, in the midst of the fire, I myself entered and walked with them. The chains on their hands were burned away, yet their bodies were unharmed, and my name was exalted. So it will be with you. When you pass through the fire of trial, your chains will be burned away, but you will not be harmed. You will emerge radiant, and all will know that there is one who walked with you. Therefore, do not flee from the fire. Do not fear it. Step into it with the faith that I am there. Let me burn away what has kept you captive. Let me consume the layers you thought were armor, but were in truth only chains. Let me refine your roughness into pure beauty. Let me turn your brokenness into the foundation of restoration. Let me transform your anger into honest prayer and your weariness into the very moment I lift you up with my strength. My beloved child, I speak to you. Do not bring me what is polished and shining. Bring me instead the truth within your heart. Do not strive to be perfect to draw near to me. Come with everything you already carry, even if it is broken, stained, or incomplete. I desire you yourself, not the image you think I expect. Open your heart. Let me see the hidden corners, and you will discover that my light is strong enough to cover them all. New life and boldness, my child. This fire does not come to destroy, but to renew. It will take away the old to make space for the new. It will cleanse so that you may become pure again, as in the beginning when I created you. It will separate you from the chains that have dimmed my light within you. And above all, it will lead you into a deeper communion where you no longer come to me in formality, but in true love. Believe that I am doing a great work through this fire. Let it accomplish its purpose. Do not resist, do not fear, do not turn away. Place your heart into my hands, and you will find freedom, renewal, and an identity that cannot be shaken within the fire itself. My beloved, I have seen it all. I have seen the battles you have carried alone in the dark. I have heard the silent cries rising from your heart when you had no strength left to speak them aloud. I have seen the nights you turned restlessly in your bed, tears soaking your pillow, unknown to anyone else. I did not ignore you or turn my face away. I have caught and treasured every tear of yours as something precious. I honor every pain you have borne, for I know how heavy it has been upon your fragile shoulders. But today I declare to you, enough. Not because your pain is insignificant, but because the time for healing has come. It is time for wounds to close, time for you to step out of the valley of tears and into the fields of new life. I am anointing your soul with new oil. Not old oil that is dried and faded, but a fresh, radiant, and powerful flow. When this oil touches you, it will heal the deepest fractures within your heart. It will erase the scars you thought would never fade. I am also breathing new breath into your chest. Not breath that merely sustains the body, but breath that awakens the weary soul, revives dormant faith, and rekindles the dreams you once buried. You will no longer merely exist from day to day, but truly live. Live abundantly. Live as one who carries within them the very life of my spirit. You will dream again, and these dreams will not be vague or hollow. They will be dreams born of me, sown into your heart by my own hand. Dreams untouched by fear or disappointment. You once feared to dream because of the shadow of failure. But I tell you, the dreams from heaven will never be stolen. Let me restore to you the courage to dream, so you may look ahead with eyes of light and hope, daring to believe that greater things still await you, and you will walk in boldness. But remember, this is not a boldness rooted in human strength. The world may teach you to be brave by suppressing fear and putting on a hardened exterior. Yet the boldness I give is nothing like that. It is a boldness that flows from heaven, built upon the firm foundation of your identity in me. It is courage that comes from a deep awareness that you know who you are, and, above all, to whom you belong. When you understand that you belong to me, every fear of loss will fade away. When you know you are the child of the Creator, you will no longer search for worth in the eyes of people. When you stand firm in that identity, every lie that tells you that you are worthless will be cut off, for you know you are fearfully and wonderfully made, chosen, and anointed. This is a boldness unshaken by the storms of life, for it does not come from external circumstances, but from my eternal presence within you. My child, I have heard your prayers. Father, give me peace, give me freedom, give me strength. And today I declare to you, those prayers have been answered. You will live again, not in fear, but in freedom. You will dream again, not in confusion, but in hope. You will walk again, not in trembling, but in the boldness of one who knows they are unconditionally loved by their Father. I want you to believe this. The days ahead of you will not be like the days behind. Past pain does not define you. Old failures are not the label on your life. Shame no longer holds power over you, for I am making all things new. Like a barren garden now refreshed with rain, like a withered soul now washed clean, your life will overflow with new vitality. The path to your destiny. My beloved child, receive this fresh anointing. Open your chest wide to welcome the new breath I am breathing into you. Let the boldness of heaven become the very heartbeat within you. From this day on, you are no longer one led by pain, but one anchored in my love. You no longer live under the shadow of the past, but walk in the light of the present and in the hope of the future. You are no longer merely a survivor, but a warrior carrying the flame of restoration wherever you go. My beloved child, rise up. Do not remain in the shadows, and do not let old wounds bind your feet for another day. Take the place I prepared for you before the world was formed. You are not an outsider or a passive witness, but a part of the army of warriors I have called. Take up the sword I have given you, not one forged of earthly steel, but the mighty sword of my word, a weapon no force can pierce, a weapon that makes darkness tremble. Lift up your voice. Do not remain silent, for your voice carries the power to break chains and awaken slumbering souls. The time of hesitation has ended. The days of retreat and hiding are over. This is the moment for you to stand tall with unshakable faith and step into the glorious destiny I have already written for you. I am calling you into maturity, for what I desire to give you cannot be received in immaturity. Maturity means standing firm when storms crash in. It means trusting me even when your eyes see nothing. It means choosing obedience even when that obedience costs you temporary comfort. I am calling you into clarity so that you may see the path clearly, so that the fog of doubt will no longer obscure your vision. When my light shines, what once seemed tangled will become clear. I am also calling you into an inheritance, not only for yourself, but for your lineage, for those around you, and for the generations after you. What you reap today will become the seed sown into the future of many others. Child, you think all of this concerns only you, but I tell you, it does not. Your obedience will not only open doors for yourself, but also for many who wait behind you. Some souls will find freedom through your yes. Some families will be healed because of your steadfastness. Some generations will be transformed because of your faithful choice today. Your victory will not stop with you. It will ripple outward like waves, touching lives you never even imagined. That is why I do not allow you to sit still any longer. I have entrusted you with territory. This territory is not only the physical place where you live, but also the spiritual realm I have given you to govern and steward. There are walls that must fall when you open your mouth. There are doors waiting only for your hand to push them open. There are dark places only you can bring light to, because I have equipped you specifically for that purpose. You cannot compare yourself with anyone else. For what I have given you is unique. Only you can open those doors, for I have placed the keys in your hand, not in the hand of another. My beloved child, you may think, Father, I am too small, too weak to carry such a vast territory. But I tell you the truth. It is not by your strength that it will be carried, but by me within you. I do not hand you a territory only to abandon you. I entrust it to you and give you the power to govern it. You will see as you walk in obedience, darkness will retreat. Wherever your feet tread, my presence will go with you, and that land will be transformed. Remember, Moses did not feel confident when I called him. Yet it was I who made him the leader of an entire people. Remember, Joshua trembled before the great responsibility, but I spoke to him. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear, for I am with you. Remember, David was only a shepherd boy, yet I used him to strike down Goliath and raise him up as king. In the same way, I do not look at limitations. I look at my hand resting upon your life, and once my hand is placed upon you, no power can stand against it. My child, this is the time for you to rise, to take up the sword, and to lift your voice. The territory entrusted to you is waiting. Souls are waiting. Generations are waiting. There is no more time for hesitation, no room for retreat. This is the moment for you to advance, to step into maturity, into clarity, and into the eternal inheritance I have prepared for you, the power of your thoughts. My beloved one, I have gone before you, and the path you now walk is not vague or random. It was prepared long before your first cry at birth. I have cleared away great obstacles. I have opened a path through the desert. I have raised a bridge across the chasm. Do not be surprised when you meet opposition, for that very opposition is proof that you are drawing near to the spiritual territory I have destined for you. If you carried no value, the enemy would have no reason to resist you. But because you bear within you the light and the heavenly call, the darkness will do everything to hinder you. Therefore, my child, do not retreat. I say it again to you, do not retreat. Every step you take forward is not meaningless. It is more than physical movement. It is a spiritual declaration. The kingdom of God is drawing near. As you persist in walking, the darkness is compelled to fall back. As you dare to obey even in the smallest way, you strike at the very foundations of falsehood. You are not walking only for yourself. You are paving the way for those who will come after you. Every act of obedience tears down part of the stronghold of darkness, making my light shine more clearly. I know there will be moments when you are so weary that you no longer know what to pray. But my child, in those moments, you do not need eloquence or perfect words. All you need is to call upon my name. A simple cry from the heart is enough to move heaven. When you whisper, Father, I have already heard. When your trembling lips utter, Lord, save me, I have already answered. Do not think that your prayer must be long and flawless to have value. What I seek is sincerity. The moment you call, I am already there. When you feel the burden is more than you can bear, I want you to remember the promises I have spoken. Whisper them to your own soul so that faith may be stirred again. Remember that I have said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Remind your heart that I am your strong refuge, your inexhaustible source of strength. These promises are not mere words, they are life itself. A shield, an anchor that keeps you from being swept away in the storm. And when you feel like giving up, when the darkness whispers that you cannot go any further, recall this very moment, the call I placed within your heart. Do not forget that there was a day when I called your name, when I chose you, when I spoke over your life, you are mine. That truth never changes, even when your feelings do. You may be weak, you may doubt, you may want to quit, but the truth remains, you are never alone. I am with you, I am within you. I go before you, and I uphold you with every step. My beloved, know this. There is a heavenly host surrounding you, strengthening you through their prayers of intercession. There are those who have gone before, watching and encouraging you from the realm of glory. And there is I, your loving Father, who never leaves you for even a single moment. Never believe that you are fighting this battle on your own, for my very presence is the guarantee of your victory. You ask me why there are souls who wander lost in the depths of their own thoughts. Why in moments of despair, in storms of fear, or in the deepest confusion, people so often circle endlessly within their minds instead of lifting their eyes to seek the light. You ask why so many souls are like ships without anchors, drifting aimlessly against opposing winds. Why so many seem to forget what they once knew so clearly, that my word is a lamp to their feet, a light to their path, true life, and a hope that never breaks its promise. You are not alone in this question, my beloved. That cry has risen through centuries from hearts once ablaze that have now grown cold, from those who once walked with me but allowed their hearts to wither in the desert of doubt and disorientation. So listen carefully, as one who thirsts listens for the sound of water flowing beneath barren ground. I will not rebuke you for your questions, for I am not afraid of them. I am the God of truth, and the truth I speak today does not come with condemnation, but with a call to come home. I have not come to judge, but to lift the veil that clouds your vision, so that you may recover what your soul once knew, but has been buried beneath the dust of life. I speak to you as a father with tenderness and patience, because I have seen you through sleepless nights. I have watched you sit in silence before the pages of Scripture without feeling a thing. I have heard your sighs on days that seem to hold no way forward. The mind is one of the most powerful gifts I have placed within humanity. I created your mind not only to receive, but to create, to imagine, and to reflect the image of the Creator. I have placed within your mind the ability to reason, to contemplate, to remember what I have done, and to dream of what I still desire to accomplish through you. I designed the mind as fertile soil, a place where my word can be sown and bear fruit 100-fold. The mind is not merely a container of information. It is the gateway to transformation when guided and guarded by my spirit. But my beloved, when that mind is no longer anchored in me, when it is not saturated by the truth of my word, it easily becomes occupied ground. The enemy does not need to knock loudly. He only needs a crack, an unchecked thought, an unhealed memory, a false assumption you have never brought into the light. Slowly, the mind ceases to be a source of life and instead becomes a place where distortion is nurtured. Lies begin to whisper as if they were truth. Emotions rise and claim the right to lead, and unhealed wounds start speaking louder than my voice. That is when you feel confusion, because everything seems to be making noise, but not every sound comes from me. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. I do not forget you in those moments. I do not withdraw when your mind becomes a battlefield. On the contrary, I stand in the midst of the storm and call you back. I speak to you. Let your mind be renewed. Do not merely push away negative thoughts. Replace them with the truth that comes from me. Do not try to resist with sheer willpower. Equip your mind with my promises. You cannot remain silent and hope the truth will speak for itself. You must declare it, sing it, and repeat it until every fiber of your mind is soaked in what is right. As it is written in Psalm 1, "Blessed is the one whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night." Not occasionally, not only when it feels good, but day and night, unceasing, unrelenting. When you face inner chaos, do not be quick to label yourself a failure. That is the moment to look at the battlefield and recognize the battleground. That is the moment to understand that the struggle is not about external things, but about keeping your heart from drifting away from me. Do not let old pain have the authority to build arguments in your mind. Do not let past betrayal become the standard by which you see the present. Do not allow a voice from the past, whether from a parent, a teacher, or someone you once loved, to define you in the present if it contradicts what I have spoken. You are my child. You are loved, chosen, and set apart. That is the truth. Anything else, if it does not align with that, must be cast aside. Remember that your mind can become a shelter for darkness, but it can also be the dwelling place of light. Each day you have a choice. What will you sow into it? Sow my words, recall my promises, write down the works I have done in your life, declare my name in every circumstance. You cannot stop the wind from blowing, but you can learn how to set your sails to the Spirit's wind. You cannot avoid every battle, but you can enter the fight with the full armor of the Spirit. And you will overcome, not because you are strong, but because the one who lives in you is greater than the one who is in the world. My beloved, the peace you long for does not come from everything outside being calm, but from your mind being rebuilt upon truth. When your thoughts are anchored in me, no matter how fierce the storm rages around you, you will stand firm. As I spoke in Isaiah 26, verse 3, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Let your thoughts rest in me. Let every idea be filtered through my truth. Learn to speak to yourself what I've already declared instead of allowing emotions or circumstances to speak first. And when you feel lost in the haze of uncertainty, when too many voices make it hard to discern, whisper, "Mind, be still." Return to the secret place where you can breathe slowly. Place your hand over your heart and whisper just one phrase. "Father, speak, for I am listening. I am always there. I do not withdraw. I still speak, not with thunder, but with a gentle whisper. A breath strong enough to stir the soul that once knew me and still longs for me. My child, let your mind be restored. Let it cease to be a battlefield and become a sanctuary. Let it no longer be a maze but a temple. For when your mind is renewed, your whole life will be transformed. And then you will not merely survive. You will live with strength, with clarity, and in a way worthy of the name I have given you. The true nature of worship. My beloved, do you know this? The enemy of your soul is cunning. He knows he cannot wrench you from my hand. No power, no force, no depth, no darkness can separate you from my love. Because of this, he does not attack you by openly trying to tear you from me. Instead, he chooses a subtler, quieter, but no less dangerous path. He seeks to distract you, to turn your gaze away from me. It is enough if he shifts your eyes away from the light. It is enough if your thoughts dwell on anything other than me. It is enough if your mind becomes filled with things that seem reasonable, but carry no life. And do you know what is most heartbreaking? That many, in all sincerity and zeal, unknowingly cooperate with this strategy because they fail to recognize one crucial truth, that attention itself is a form of worship. My child, ponder deeply the words I have just spoken. Attention, the gaze of your inner eyes, the place where your thoughts continually return, is the very anchor of your worship. If you fix your eyes upon your circumstances, you are enthroning them. If you allow fear to dominate your every thought, you are granting it a power that belongs to me alone. If you keep rehearsing your wounds, chewing over the bitterness in your heart, then you are watering a root that will in the end bear poisonous fruit. I do not speak this to make you feel guilty, but to awaken you. I do not desire that you live a life that could be free, yet is shackled by invisible chains. The thoughts you permit to dwell in your mind soon take residence in your soul, and from there they begin to shape you, governing your emotions, steering your actions, and muffling the voice of my spirit within you. My child, you must recognize a truth the world strives to conceal. Thoughts are not mere wisps of smoke drifting through the mind. No, they are seeds. Every thought is a seed, and when you repeat it often enough, it begins to take root. That thought carves a pathway in your mind as steady drips of water cut a channel deep into stone. And soon, what was once a fleeting notion becomes a belief, then a perspective, then a foundation from which you see the whole world. If the seed is despair, then in time you will live as one without hope, even though I have called you into the fullness of life. If the seed is fear, you will respond to life as one under threat, even though in truth you stand under the shelter of the Almighty. If the seed is shame, you will bow your head as one rejected, even though I have declared you chosen. I have watched so many of my children, even within my church, with voices lifted in song and hands raised in praise, yet their minds are filled with foreign echoes, the voice of the enemy, the voice of the past, the voice of failure, the voice of lies. Not because they do not love me, but because they have not yet learned to worship through their attention. Worship is not merely a song or a gathering. Worship is the decision of where your inner gaze will rest. Worship is when you say, I choose to fix my eyes on the Father, even when everything else clamors for my attention. And when I call you to turn your eyes upon me, it is not because I lack attention, not because I need your worship to be glorified. No, my child, my glory does not depend on your recognition. It is you who needs this to live. You need to pause and look up at me, for when you turn toward me, your mind is renewed. When you turn toward me, your soul is healed. When you look at me, you begin to see yourself through the eyes of the one who formed you. And then at last, you will begin to live as one who is loved, redeemed, called, and purposed. Guarding your inner garden. Be careful with what you think when you are not paying attention. Allow the Holy Spirit to illuminate every corner of your mind. Pray as David did. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Psalm 139:23. For it is in the unconscious thoughts that the enemy often sows what it cannot speak aloud. Build a fence of my words around your mind. Learn to capture every thought and present it to me. Remind yourself each day, who am I in God's eyes? What am I focusing on? Does this thought bring forth life, or is it slowly corroding my hope? My child, I have not called you to live in constant anxiety, but to live in a peace that surpasses all understanding. I have not called you to dwell with a mind filled with chaos, but with wisdom and clarity. Yet, for that to become reality, you must choose the right way of sowing. Let every thought of me, of my faithfulness, of the finished work on the cross, become seeds and water them daily with thanksgiving, with declarations of truth, with the refusal of anything that does not come from me. And you will see, day by day, little by little, the garden of your mind will change. The thorns of bitterness will be uprooted. The fresh shoots of hope will begin to rise. The barren soil will be drenched with showers of grace. And from that mind, life will flow into your soul, into your actions, into your words, and into your relationships. My beloved, this is a battle worth fighting, and you are not alone. I fight with you, and I have already overcome. Now live as one who has triumphed. Guard your mind as you would guard a treasure, for it is there that the harvest of your life will begin. My precious child, I have placed within you an invaluable treasure, the ability to think. Thoughts are not a burden or punishment, but a gift I have given, so you may commune with me, so you may contemplate truth, so that your mind may become a mirror reflecting the glory of the Creator. I speak to you not only through signs and wonders, but also through whispers in the secret place, in the stillness of your soul where no one else but I can reach. My spirit echoes like a gentle breeze, writing my promises upon the tablet of your heart. But my child, when your mind is crowded with the noise of worry, fear, and confusion, it is not that I have ceased to speak. It is that your spiritual ears have drifted onto a different frequency. Many people have lived their whole lives in such a state, allowing the voice of pain to echo for so long within their minds that they forget the gentle melody of the Good Shepherd. The voice of loss, of wounding, of old memories resounds so loudly that it drowns out my words, making them believe they have been abandoned. And there are also those who have never been taught that the mind must be renewed each day by my word. They believe that whatever arises in their thoughts must be truth, that their emotions are the ultimate evidence. But my child, that is not the truth. Not every thought comes from me, nor does every idea have the authority to define you. Some thoughts are nothing less than poisoned arrows launched from the shadows, aimed directly at your heart to sow fear and doubt. They come suddenly, and if you do not recognize them in time, they pierce deeply, causing pain and bleeding faith. Then there are thoughts that appear reasonable, wrapped in the guise of logic, yet in reality are only seeds of doubt. At first they seem small and harmless, but if nurtured, they grow into a thicket that blocks out the light, making you question my word, my love, and even your very identity. And there are other thoughts that spring from old wounds, memories of betrayal, cruel judgments, or experiences steeped in shame, now dressed in new clothing, pretending to be truth. Yet no matter how they appear, their essence remains, falsehood meant only to bind you once again. My beloved, you must discern this clearly. Not everything that echoes in your mind deserves your trust. Your mind is like a vast field. If you leave it unattended, thorns and weeds will overrun it. But if you plant my word there, if you guard every seed, it will bear the fruit of life. That is why I have said, do not conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12, verse 2. I call you not merely to read my word, but to let it become a constant stream, watering the soil of your soul each day, so that every thought may be tested, illuminated, and redirected toward the truth. My child, do not think that I sit far off, watching you struggle against the chaos of your thoughts. No, I am nearer than you imagine. I stand beside you, waiting for you to open your heart and let me teach you discernment. Train your mind to recognize my voice amidst the noise. Do not believe everything your thoughts suggest. Instead, weigh them in the light of my word. If a thought fills you with fear, ask, does this align with the promises of God? If a memory leaves you feeling worthless, confront it with, what has God called me? How has He defined me? My child, I long for you to understand that I am not afraid of the disorder within your mind. I do not reject you when you confess that your thoughts are tangled and heavy with negativity. On the contrary, I am waiting to cultivate that very field with you. I want to plow it anew, uproot every lie, and plant the seeds of truth. But I need your cooperation. You must be willing to let go of the old thoughts and open your heart so I may teach you a new way of thinking. Thought is the gift I have given you, and you were created to use it as a bridge to me. Use your imagination to picture my promises becoming reality. Use your reasoning to grasp deeper truths. Use your memory to engrave the grace I have shown in the past, so that when darkness comes, you have evidence to stand against it. Use the creativity of your mind to paint the visions I have promised, so you may walk with the confidence that they will surely come to pass. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. My beloved, I remind you again, the gift of thought is not meant to torment you, but to lift you up, to help you stay connected to your Father. Do not let it become a battlefield for the darkness. Instead, let it become an altar where you offer to me every thought, every imagination, every memory, and every dream. When you do this, I will transform them, turning arrows into testimonies, seeds of doubt into seeds of hope, and painful memories into witnesses of healing. Keep your mind in the light, for there lies the very source of freedom. I will never leave you to fight alone. My spirit is always with you, whispering and guiding you closer to me, even when other voices try to drown me out. When you choose to listen to my voice, you will find a peace that surpasses all human understanding. My beloved child, this is why I don't just advise you. I earnestly teach you to renew your mind. This isn't a one-time thing or a fleeting emotional experience. It's a continuous, day-by-day, moment-by-moment process. Your mind, like your body, needs constant nourishment. You wouldn't expect one meal to sustain you forever, so you can't expect one prayer, one reading of my word, or one encounter with me to keep your mind strong for a lifetime. Each day needs renewal. Each day needs nourishment. Each day, your mind must be immersed in the living waters that flow from me. If you don't feed your body with nourishing foods, it will crave what's harmful. Empty, sweet foods that drain your strength and leave you frail. It's the same with your mind. If it's not fed with truth, it will be drawn to deception. If it doesn't drink from the stream of life, it will thirst for things that seem refreshing but actually dry out your soul. This is why I call you to draw near to the true fountain daily. Let your mind be washed in truth, and your spirit be filled and satisfied by my word. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to be walking yet are always weary, or seem alive but their hearts remain dry? It's because they haven't learned to nourish their minds. They carelessly feed on everything the world offers: news, worries, memories, and the judgments of others. They let every poisonous word, every deceit, and every destructive image become their spiritual food. Soon they're drained, their faith shaken, and their hope withered. I don't want you to become like that. I've prepared a daily banquet for you, the banquet of my word, wisdom, and grace. But will you sit down and partake? I've opened the stream of living water, pure and refreshing, to satisfy your deepest thirst. But will you bow down and drink? I won't force you, I simply invite you. And I promise that if you come, you will never hunger or thirst again. The power of spiritual armor. The renewal of your mind isn't an abstract idea, it's a daily choice. When you wake up, you can choose to let your thoughts be consumed by worry, or you can begin your day with the truth. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. When you face challenges, you can choose to think, I can't, or you can declare, I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. When your spirit feels heavy, you can repeat words of self-reproach, or you can sing, You are my refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Renewing your mind isn't about denying reality, but learning to see it through the lens of truth. It's not shallow positive thinking, but holding firmly to my promises until your mind and soul become one with that truth. It's allowing the Holy Spirit to transform the way you see, respond, and interpret what's happening around you. Imagine that if each day you water the soil of your mind with my words, if you plant seeds of life within it, a whole new garden will spring forth. In that garden, fear will have no place to root, bitterness will have no ground to grow, and shame will have no space to remain. Instead, the fruits of the Spirit will flourish: peace, joy, kindness, patience, love, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. This is the harvest of a mind that is steadily and persistently nourished. But if you neglect it, if you let your mind feed carelessly, it will turn to anything that seems to fill the emptiness. It will drink fear like water, eat bitterness like bread, and chew shame as its daily meal. Your soul will grow weak, the fire of faith will fade, and your courage will wither. That's not my will for you. So I remind you again, renew your mind each day, each hour. Draw near to me. Let my word become your essential nourishment. Let your mind be saturated with life, so that it may flow out like a stream, refreshing not only you, but also those around you. When your mind is nourished, your whole life is transformed. Your words become encouraging, your attitude becomes strong, your decisions become wise, and your steps become steady. I don't want you to merely exist, I want you to live with strength abundantly, in freedom and in hope. But that's only possible if you learn to feed your mind with truth instead of letting it hunger for what destroys. So choose today what you'll feed your mind. Which source will you drink from? Come to me, choose life, and you'll discover a strength that never runs dry. Anchor your thoughts in truth. I know how fragile your mind can be under the weight of life's pressures. I know how often you've stumbled when waves of anxiety crashed in, when voices from outside and within pulled you in opposite directions. I see when your soul seems to lose its way, but I have never turned my back on you. In fact, I run toward you and pursue you, like a shepherd who leaves the 99 to find the one who is lost. My love doesn't tire, and my pursuit doesn't cease until you're drawn back into the safety of my embrace. Yet there's a truth you must deeply understand. Your thoughts aren't always a faithful companion. Thoughts can deceive you and lead you astray if they aren't anchored in truth. Sometimes your mind whispers that you aren't good enough, that you've gone too far, or that the door has been shut forever. But remember, those aren't my words. That is deception. If you don't discern it, those lies will become invisible chains that bind your soul. That's why I've given you an anchor, my word. It's not just an ancient book or outdated principles. My word is living power, breathing into the present and touching the very circumstances you face. Every time you open my word, you're inviting me in to speak directly to your soul. You're allowing me to light a lamp to shine into the darkest corners and to remind you that you are never alone. Imagine your mind as a ship on the open sea. Without an anchor, it will drift with every wind and current. One day you feel hope, the next you fall into despair. One hour you trust, the next you tremble in fear. This is the plight of a vessel without an anchor. But when you let my word become your anchor, you'll stand firm no matter how fierce the storm. The tempest can't destroy you because you are held fast by unshakable truth. Do you know why so many people lose their way? It's because they listen to their own thoughts more than to my word. They allow their emotions to decide instead of letting truth guide them. But emotions are like waves that rise and fall, while my truth is a solid rock. If you build your life on my word, you'll be like someone who builds their house on a rock. Rains may pour, floods may rise, and storms may rage, yet it won't collapse. But if you build on emotions, you'll be like someone who builds on sand. It may look beautiful and rise quickly, but a single storm is enough to sweep it all away. Let my word be your compass. I call you to come to my word as the thirsty come to flowing water, as the hungry come to a banquet table. Don't let it become just a habit or a duty. Come with the expectation that every time you open the scriptures, you'll hear me speak. Read not only to grasp it with your mind, but to let your heart be nourished. Allow me to take the words you read and turn them into promises burning brightly within you. When you're lost, return to my word. When your mind is filled with lies, let my word be the test of truth. When you tremble with anxiety, let my word become a refreshing stream. When despair weighs on you, let my word awaken hope. You'll discover that when you open your heart to receive it, my word carries power beyond anything you could imagine. It can break chains, heal wounds, strengthen weary feet, and remind you of the true identity I have placed within you. Don't let a single day pass without anchoring your mind in my word. Each morning, let a verse become a whisper in your heart. Each evening, let my promise become the pillow on which your soul rests. Whenever storms arise, let my word be the compass that directs you. You will see that your life will no longer be tossed by restless waves of fleeting thoughts, but will grow steady, secure, and unshakable. I am the voice you need. Every time you open my word, you are opening the door of your heart for me to enter. You never need to fear you're speaking into emptiness, for I always answer, declare, and reveal. Your mind will no longer be a desolate battlefield, but a cultivated field, nurtured and overflowing with life. When streams of thoughts surge within you like a mighty flood, when your mind becomes chaotic with 1,000 voices echoing all at once, don't let yourself be swept away. Rise up in the strength I have given you and declare the truth aloud. Let your lips be the trumpet that proclaims to your soul that my truth is stronger than any storm. Don't simply echo what you feel, for feelings can be intense and overwhelming, but they are never a reliable compass. Instead, proclaim what I have spoken. The battle within. Feelings are real. I know this because I created you with the capacity to feel. They are not your enemies. They are part of the humanity I designed in you, so you may know love, joy, pain, and laughter. Yet, my dear one, they aren't always right, and I never intended for them to take the wheel of your life. They are like the wind, sometimes gentle, sometimes fierce. And if you allow the vessel of your life to depend entirely on the wind, you'll be driven to places you never wish to go. Similarly, I've placed within you the marvelous gift of thought. Ideas can be creative and can build, and they can be tools through which I reveal vision. But just like emotions, thoughts aren't your master. They are guests who come and go. Some are from me, some from your experiences, and some are sown by the enemy. You can't allow every thought that enters your mind to take authority over you. You must discern and let my word be the measure. You must let my spirit show you which are seeds of life and which are weeds that must be uprooted. This is why I have given you a helper, a guide, a light that never goes out, my Holy Spirit. He dwells within you, whispering in the secret depths of your heart, leading you into truth. He doesn't shout or compete with other voices. Instead, he is steadfast, gentle, and patient, always pointing you toward the right way. You must learn to use your own voice to stand against false thoughts. Don't remain silent before the lies that echo in your mind. Don't allow them to dominate the space of your thoughts. Each time you hear the whisper, "You aren't good enough," respond, "I am fearfully and wonderfully made." When the voice hisses, "It's all over," proclaim, "I know the plans you have for me. Plans for peace and not for harm, to give me a future and a hope." When fear screams within you, declare, "God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind." Wield the weapon of the Spirit. Remember that your mouth carries power. Even when your emotions tremble, even when your thoughts are in chaos, the declarations from your lips can bring your mind back into alignment. Learn to speak truth aloud for your own ears to hear, for the darkness to hear, and for heaven to hear. This is how you cooperate with me. This is how you wield the weapon of the Spirit. This is how you stand firm in the midst of spiritual battles. I don't condemn you when you feel weak, when you weep, or when you are swept away by emotions or thoughts. I see it all, but I speak to you. Don't let these things define you. Don't let them rule over you. You have a Lord, and that is me. You have a foundation that can never be shaken, and that is my word. You have a source of strength that never runs dry, and that is my Spirit. Let it be clear. True guidance doesn't come from fleeting feelings or passing ideas. True guidance comes from unchanging truth. You'll discover this when you learn to place truth above emotions. You'll no longer be dragged away by waves of uncertainty. When you allow the Holy Spirit to take the helm, you'll find peace even while the storm still rages. When you learn to declare my word with your mouth, you'll witness chains breaking and darkness retreating. A new life in me. My beloved child, engrave this deeply in your heart. The promises I have given you aren't shackles to hold you back, but keys to unlock every door that has been tightly shut in your life. Each of my promises is designed to set you free, to lead you forward, and to open a way where you once thought there was only a wall. My commands aren't a prison that limits your freedom, but rather my protective embrace. The world whispers that my law is bondage, but I tell you it is my protective embrace. The world mocks that my promises are fanciful, but those very promises have upheld countless generations through the fiercest trials. You must return to this truth. Learn again how to meditate, but not in the world's way. Not as empty, hollow meditation that invites the mind to become open ground for any thought to be sown. No, that is not the way I have appointed for you. I don't want your mind to be empty, for when it is empty, the enemy seeks to take hold. My way is altogether different. Let your mind be filled with truth. Fill every corner of your heart with my word, leaving no room for lies to enter. Don't fight spiritual battles with fleshly strategies. When you feel lost, don't keep digging deeper into yourself, searching for answers in the fragments of your own reasoning. Your reasoning, though valuable, is limited and easily deceived. The more you spiral inward, the more lost you become, like one wandering in a maze. The harder you try to find your way, the more entangled you grow. Lift up your eyes, look beyond yourself, raise your head and seek help, for your help doesn't come from within you or from another person, but from me, the one who created the heavens and the earth. You can't fight spiritual battles with the strategies of the flesh. Just as no soldier can stand against modern weapons with bare hands, neither can you defeat invisible forces with mere human reasoning. What you face isn't just emotion, but the powers of darkness seeking to break your faith. That's why you need spiritual armor, not philosophy, not clever sayings of men, but the weapons I provide. You also can't calm a spiritual storm with hollow encouragements. The world may tell you, be strong, stay positive, but those words are like a thin blanket thrown over you in the freezing midnight of winter. They can't keep you warm or drive away the bitter wind. Only my word can truly still the storm, just as when I stood in the boat with my disciples and spoke one command, be still. And immediately the wind ceased and the waves grew calm. That's the power of my word. And that power isn't locked away or reserved for a select few. It's given to you. My word isn't distant, it's nearer than your very breath. It's within reach, waiting for you to open it. It isn't a buried treasure you must exhaust yourself to dig up, but a flowing stream of living water, ready for you to stoop down and drink. Yet here is where I grant you freedom. You must choose. I won't force you. I invite you. You must choose to eat, to drink, to let my word become the daily nourishment of your life. You know your body will collapse without food and wither without water, and so too will your mind and spirit. They can't be strong if they aren't fed. Truth over lies. What the world offers is only counterfeit food, salty water that leaves you thirstier and wearier. But my word is the bread of life. It is the river of life. It is the honey that nourishes your soul. Picture this. Each day you have a choice. Either you let your mind feed on news, lies, and negativity, or you feed it with truth, with promises, with wisdom from above. The difference won't show in a single day, but across a lifetime. The one who feeds on truth will stand firm through the storm. The one who lives on lies will be swept away when the winds shift. I have not called you into confusion. I have called you into clarity. And that clarity comes only when your mind is filled with my word. Then every decision you make will no longer rest on fleeting emotions, but on a firm foundation. Then you will discern which voice is the enemy's and which is your Father's. Then your soul will no longer drift, but will be anchored in truth. Therefore, my child, don't overlook my words. Eat, drink, and ponder them. Let every line, every word become the heartbeat within you, and you will see that the storms will no longer make you tremble as before. For now you hold the key in your hands. You have found the door. You have grasped the living power that has awaited you since the beginning. Never feel ashamed of the hidden battles within your mind. Don't think that I would turn away from you simply because you are still weak or tangled in restless thoughts. I know everything unfolding within you, even the thoughts you never dared to speak aloud. I see the tears that fall in the darkness and the sighs no one else ever hears. You don't need to hide from me. Come close with sincerity, for I don't seek pretense or polished prayers. I seek the true heart, even when it is broken, trembling, or confused. Speak to me when the weight of your thoughts grows too heavy. Don't try to carry it all alone, for you were never designed to bear everything upon your small shoulders. I have seen you many times striving to appear strong, but my child, it is precisely in the moment you admit your helplessness that I am given the chance to reveal my strength. It is in weakness that my power is made perfect. I don't drive you away when you tremble, nor do I abandon you when you are lost. On the contrary, I open wide my arms and say, "Come here, lay your burdens down upon me." The power of stillness. I already know everything you carry, from secret fears to the memories you long to forget. There is nothing within you unseen by me. Nothing is too deep, too dark, or too chaotic for me to touch. Yet I don't desire for you to merely endure. I long to help you carry it. I long to exchange the heavy loads on your shoulders for my gentle yoke and my light burden. I long to silence the lying voices that have haunted you and replace them with the voice of truth. The lies have told you that you are unworthy, that you have failed too many times, and that you will never change. But I come to declare you are chosen, you are loved, and you have been redeemed by a price beyond all measure. The lies have sown shame into you, but I have come to take that shame away, to clothe you in garments of righteousness, and to place upon your head a crown of glory. The lies have planted confusion, but I have come to bring clarity so that you may know who you are, who I am, and that your future is secure in my hands. In order for you to hear this, you must learn the art of silence. The world is always noisy. The enemy is always looking for ways to stir your mind into chaos. Yet my voice often comes like a gentle breeze, like the soft rhythm of a breath, like a pure tone breaking through the dawn. If you never pause, if you never quiet your soul, you will struggle to hear it. I am not silent, but my voice is often drowned out by countless other sounds. Train your heart to know stillness. Carve out moments free from screens and noise, moments where it is only you and me. Then you'll be surprised to realize that I have always been speaking, always whispering, always inviting. I don't hesitate to enter your chaos. I am willing to sit with you in the dark until you are quiet enough to notice the light. I don't rush or force, but I wait with patience, like a gentle father placing his hand upon your shoulder and whispering, "Let me speak. Let me heal. Let me transform." So don't fear bringing me the confusion within you. Don't think you must first clean your heart before you can draw near. Come as you are. I will not cast you away. I will welcome you. I will renew you. I will turn your chaos into clarity, your lies into a song of truth, your fears into courage, and your brokenness into the very foundation of a new life. Living with intention. Your enemy has no authority to erase the plan I set in place for you before the beginning of time. He cannot undo the eternal purpose I wove into your soul when you were formed in your mother's womb. Yet he knows he still has a cunning strategy to make you stop believing. He doesn't need to steal what I have promised. He only needs to convince you that it is not real or that it was never meant for you. He surrounds you with thoughts that sound reasonable and assumptions that appear true, but are only disguised deception. He whispers that your failures define you. He replays every mistake, every wound, and every word spoken against you to bind you in a cycle of shame and self-blame. He wants your mind to dwell endlessly on what is broken rather than on faith and hope. For he knows this. If he can keep your thoughts trapped in fear and the echo of defeat, then you may forget the authority I have already given you. And when my child forgets who they may live as though defeated, when in truth, they were destined for victory. That's why today I call you to be intentional. Don't let your mind drift like a rudderless boat upon the sea. Guard your thoughts as a watchman guards the city gates. Discern what you allow to enter. Don't absorb everything simply because it comes from many voices or because it is repeated often. You must know this. Not every voice deserves your trust. Guard what you meditate upon, for what you repeat will become belief, and belief will turn into action. If you allow lies to take up space in your mind, they will give birth to fear. If you nurture bitterness, it will blossom into resentment. But if you let my words flow through the stream of your thoughts, they will bear fruit in peace, hope, and strength. Never underestimate the power of repetition. What you hear every day will become the guiding voice that leads you. I call you to live intentionally, not merely reacting to whatever comes your way, but choosing wisely what you allow in. Keep your mind pure like a gatekeeper who decides who may enter the city. Don't agree with lies that don't align with my voice. If a thought pulls you away from hope, makes you doubt my love, or causes you to forget your true identity, then it is not my voice. Rise up and reject it. Declare the truth to drive it out of your mind. Peace as a weapon. Beloved one, remember that agreement is a powerful force. When you agree with my word, heaven opens. When you agree with deception, chains are tightened. Therefore, be watchful, for the enemy doesn't need much. He only needs your small agreement to build an entire stronghold in your mind. But I also tell you this, with just one yes to the truth, the fortress of darkness will begin to crumble. Step into a life of intentional living. Choose to listen to me more than to the world. Choose to let my word echo in you more than old memories. Choose to declare my word upon your lips until it becomes a stream flowing out naturally. Then you'll see deception loses its power, fear loses its grip, and your mind becomes a fertile ground filled with life and peace. You must learn to silence the noise. Not only the noise of the world, but the noise within your own mind. How many times have you sat alone with no one else around, yet your heart was far from still? Thoughts colliding, jostling, weaving over one another, robbing you of rest. You are not weary because your hands have labored too much, but because your mind never ceases. It keeps replaying painful memories, relentless fears, and unanswered questions. That is the very noise I want to teach you to silence. The peace I give you is not a fleeting silence or a vague comfort. My peace is a weapon. It isn't passive, fragile, or shallow, but strong, steadfast, and sharp. It's like an invisible shield blocking every fiery arrow the enemy aims at your mind. It's like a mighty fortress where you can take refuge in the midst of the storm. This peace doesn't come from controlling your circumstances, but from my presence. Many people think that dark thoughts, tormenting anxieties, or prolonged seasons of depression are proof that I have rejected them. They believe that only those with enough faith never wrestle with fear or falter under pressure. But that's a lie. You are not disqualified because you are weak. What you are going through doesn't cause me to abandon you. Don't let the enemy plant in your mind the thought that inner battles are evidence of distance from me. On the contrary, it is in the very midst of those struggles that I draw nearer to you, eager to prove that my love remains unshaken by the chaos within you. Faith is a choice. You must remember that faith isn't the absence of battle. If it were, then faith would become an impossible condition, a lofty ideal no one could attain. True faith is choosing to stand firm right in the midst of the storm. Faith is the steadfast decision to hold on, even when you see nothing but darkness, even when your mind screams the opposite. Faith is daring to say, I believe you are faithful, though my heart trembles. I believe you love me, though my thoughts are filled with doubt. I believe you are here, though my feelings shout that you are gone. That is the true essence of faith. It is not the absence of doubt, but the choice to cling to me even when doubts surround you. It is not never being afraid, but choosing to lay your fear at my feet and keep walking forward. It is not a mind forever at rest, but the bold declaration, even while storms rage within, the Lord is my refuge. Remember the image of Peter walking on the water. The waves were still there, the wind still blew, the sea still churned. Faith didn't make the storm vanish in an instant. Faith gave him the courage to step onto the water, trusting that my gaze was more powerful than the roar of the storm. And when he faltered, when his eyes shifted to the waves instead of me, he began to sink. But I was still right there, reaching out my hand to lift him up. That is what I do for you. Faith doesn't mean you never sink. It means you know to call out to me the moment you begin to go under. My beloved child, allow yourself to walk with a new definition of faith, one that is not built upon the perfection of emotions, but upon my faithfulness. Remember that I do not measure you by fleeting thoughts, but by the place where you choose to set your heart. And if you choose to place your trust in me, even amid the noise, you have done what delights me. So take courage. When your thoughts are in chaos, let my peace become the armor that guards you. When fear surrounds you, stand firm, not because you are unshaken, but because my hand holds yours. When the darkness whispers that you are weak, answer with the truth. In weakness, His power is made perfect. Silence the noise by lifting my voice above all others. You will see that it is in the fiercest battles that my peace shines most brilliantly. And you will come to understand that faith is not a feeling, but a decision, a choice made again and again each day, to trust me, to fix your gaze on me, to walk with me. Your authority and power begin by speaking aloud the words I have already declared. Don't wait for your emotions to align, for emotions are slow and ever-changing. They are like clouds in the sky, sometimes thick, sometimes fading, at times obscuring the light, and at times glowing under the sun. But the truth I speak never changes. You are not a victim swept along by feelings and tangled thoughts. You have been given authority to bring them under control. Remember that you have the power to take every thought captive and bring it into obedience to Christ. Don't let careless thoughts roam freely in your mind. If you allow them, they will slowly build strongholds. You cannot stop the birds from flying overhead, but you can stop them from building a nest. In the same way, not every thought that enters your mind comes from me, and not every thought has the right to stay. You have the authority to say, no, this is not from my Father, and you also have the authority to affirm, this is the truth, and I choose to believe it. Don't feed the wolves of fear and despair. They will grow only if you nourish them with worry, lies, and the old memories you keep replaying. If you continue to dwell on them, They will become so strong that they drown out every other voice. But if you starve them by refusing to give them power, they will weaken and fade away. Instead, nurture your spirit. Let your mind be nourished by my words. Let your soul find strength in praise, in sincere prayer, and in pausing to reflect on my goodness. Every time you choose to open your mouth in gratitude instead of complaint, you are pouring water upon the tree of life within your soul. Every time you choose to sing in the midst of the storm, you are kindling a flame in the darkness. Every time you choose to turn back to truth rather than fear, you are granting your spirit the strength to stand firm. My spirit within you will not be quenched. He will rise when you give him space. When you set aside the noise, when you cease to agree with the darkness, when you open your heart and say, "Lead me," the Spirit will blaze forth in power. He is the comforter, the advocate, the helper, and he dwells within you. You are not alone in this battle, for there is a source of power in you greater than anything in the world. A new life in me. My peace in you is not static like a frozen lake. It is a living stream. The more you remain in my presence, the more it flows in abundance. That peace can multiply, increase, and surpass all understanding. It does not depend on circumstances, but on your choice to take refuge in me. Draw near, and my peace will cover you like a cloak, shield you like a fortress, and wash over you like a refreshing river that carries away fear. Don't judge yourself by the thoughts of your mind in moments of weakness. Don't condemn yourself simply because you are still struggling. The battle within is not a sign that you lack faith, but proof that you are standing on the front lines. Faith does not make the battle vanish, but it makes you stand firm in the midst of it. Choose to trust me even when every emotion in you screams the opposite. Train your mouth to speak truth more often. Let your lips become weapons. Every time you declare what I have spoken, the darkness loses a portion of its power. Every time you remind your mind that I am faithful, you extinguish one of the enemy's arrows. Every time you choose to praise me, even through your tears, you set the heavens in motion. Never forget that peace is not only for keeping you safe, but also for making you a witness to the world. When others see you walk through storms with a heart at rest, they will recognize that a mighty presence is with you. My peace within you will become a living testimony, drawing those who are in panic. You will become a light to guide them. Therefore, be intentional. Nurture what is right, starve what is false. Choose my words over lies. Choose peace over chaos. Choose the spirit over fleeting emotions. When you do, you will walk not only in freedom but also in power. The power to break chains not only for yourself but for others as well. Now, after this long journey of reminders, teachings, and affirmations, I want you to understand this clearly. You are no longer defined by the past or bound by lies. You are no longer a victim of anxious thoughts or a wanderer in the shadows. You are my child, the one chosen, called out of darkness to step into glorious light. You don't need to fear the storms of the mind, for I have given you armor, placed peace within you, and entrusted you with authority to stand firm and declare the truth. This journey won't always be easy. There will be days when you stumble, moments when your mind grows weary, nights when your pillow is wet with tears. But remember, it is in those very moments that I am nearer than ever. I catch every tear. I hear every sigh, and I never leave you for a single instant. I will continue to teach you, to uphold you, and to remind you that weakness is not the end, but the place where my power is revealed. Walk forward in the assurance that the future is no longer locked away, but has been opened in me. My child, if these words have stirred something in your spirit, don't let it fade. You were not called to consume and forget. You were called to remember and rise. This is not the end of your journey, it's the beginning of your awakening. There's more I want to reveal. There are battles ahead, yes, but there are greater victories still to come. So don't walk away from this moment unchanged. Return here often, for each time you do, I will meet you with new strength. Let this channel be your sanctuary, your armory, your altar. Subscribe, not out of routine, but as a declaration. I will fight for my soul. Click that bell, not for noise, but to never miss the sound of my voice again. Share this message, not just with your friends, but with the weary warriors who've forgotten their worth. Amen.